oil you use in your high-performance BRP vehicle does matter, and XPS delivers the right performance for your 4-stroke ATV, snowmobile, spider, or watercraft. Using XPS helps ensure the best engine performance and helps ensure the best reliability and longest engine life. And there are a few extra ingredients in XPS that even better protect consumers compared to other power sports oil. Extra corrosion protection and the optimal additives to make sure that those vehicles equipped with a wet clutch transfer the torque in the right way.
While recreational vehicle manufacturers often set very high lubrication standards for their engines, the power sports vehicle industry does not have required certification standards or regulation.
In the recreational market, there's no regulating body. So who's the regulating body? The OEM. They say, since nobody's going to help us set a base standard of performance in the marketplace, we're going to take it upon ourselves that if our engine needs this, we're going to put an oil out there that's here.
Another reason BRP makes its own brand of oil is to ensure that customers have the best ownership experience.
These OEMs, they just over engineer so that they get the ultimate finished performance for their end user, their customer, because they want the guy to come back. That's the message. OEMs build for repeat customers, and oil's a big way to get there.
To better understand why oil matters and how XPS is custom made, BRP invited dealers and media to the development lab where XPS is produced to talk about how it is formulated and explain why XPS is the best oil for Rotax engines. Whenever we meet with our dealers, they often want to know what makes passenger car motor oil unsuitable for BRP vehicles and why XPS is the best oil for Rotax engines.
Today's automotive oil has certification standards from the Society of Automotive Engineers, or SAE, and they get their guidance from government fuel economy mandates. To achieve better mileage in these automotive engines, they're making oils thinner as part of that equation. What this means is the oils are providing less lubrication between those internal moving parts. Automotive engines might be built in such a way to handle this extra demand, but the needs for your Rotax engine are much different. The engine in your BRP vehicle is operated in extreme conditions. It's typically operated at high RPM. It's a high-performance engine with a lot of horsepower per liter compared to an automotive application, and most sit still during storage periods. Plus, they have internal gears. All these things cause oil to break down sooner than their automotive counterparts, so BRP designs premium, robust oil to match these needs. XPS is formulated to maintain the correct viscosity at high temperature for the engineering-approved protection and to combat fuel dilution. Plus, XPS has added corrosion inhibitors that other power sports oil does not have.
It's really a question of meeting a minimum performance standard versus meeting the optimum performance standard. You can see the difference in the actual base oil. I'll pass this around. You can actually smell the impurities in it too. This is the foundation for XPS, and it's really it's a colorless, really an odorless start. So it's really a higher level of refinement that starts right at the base foundation of the oil.
And you've heard a little bit today the difference between mineral oil and synthetic oils. Picture mineral oil as a bunch of non-uniform size molecules like rocks and sand and pebbles, a bunch of different size molecules. To give you an idea what a synthetic molecule would be like, it's a mineral oil refined to uniform size. With this synthetic molecule, you'll get uniform protection, uniform viscosity, better boundary lubrication, less oxidation, and a more stable film strength.
XPS full synthetic starts about 70% of its oil formulation is a high quality synthetic base stock, odorless, colorless, very highly refined fluid. Now let's compare base oils. You can see the degree of impurities and imperfections in the lesser refined fluids. And this is where you can get key differentiators in price as well as performance. This is a classic good, better, best with XPS starting with the best. Now the 4-stroke formulation also includes about 10 to 15% of a viscosity modifier. In XPS we use a very high quality polymer viscosity modifier. This is it solubilized now in a liquid. It can actually start as a solid. They look like little rubber blocks. Now the importance of a viscosity modifier, especially in a power sports application, is this is your combat to oil shear. This will give you a very shear stable oil if you use the same one as in XPS.
Now in the 4T formulation, about the last 10 to 15% is in the additive package. In a 4-stroke engine, this is what makes the oil truly unique for the application. In a power sports formulation, you've got two distinct differences from automotive oil. The first is a power sports application, and to a greater extent XPS, has a very powerful anti-corrosion additive. This protects the engine in long-term storage as well as where BRP products are used. They're in harsh environments, extreme terrain, a lot of abusive conditions. This will give owners the added protection against corrosion.
And XPS is the only oil that passed BRP's rigorous severe duty testing. This testing ensures that all components have the maximum protection and highest performance in real-world conditions. And once XPS passed those rounds of testing, it was tested across the entire range of BRP products to make sure that engineers were satisfied with that oil performance.
Do passenger car motor oils get tested in a small engine market and environment? Do you think major oil manufacturers of passenger car motor oils care if their oils work in recreational vehicles? Are automotive oils designed to meet the power sports market, or are they designed to meet EPA mandates?
As a dealer, your opinion is critical for consumers. You've seen our story on XPS oils. Hopefully you're convinced that XPS is the right oil to recommend. If you're still skeptical, here are 2 reasons why you should carry and recommend XPS to your BRP consumers. Recommending and selling an aftermarket oil, especially one that somebody can buy somewhere else, is just giving them a reason to shop somewhere else. When a BRP customer buys a good enough oil at the discount chain or local distributor, you're not only losing that oil sale, but you're losing the opportunity for those impulse buys. Not to mention the opportunity to show them the new vehicles and accessories. So educate your customers on the best lubricants and explain to them why oil matters. Do them the service of selling XPS. It's the best oil for their products, and you'll both win in the end.
You ride it hard. Treat it right with XPS oils.